Welcome to my show. A guest here. Her name is Vivien Kristan. Mrs. Vivian, how are you doing, ma?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you very much, Mrs. Vivian. And also, thank you so much for the time and the opportunity. Firstly, you are a trauma informed manifestation coach. Can you please, Mrs. Vivian, discuss more about yourself and how you are doing currently now, Mrs. Vivian?
Mhm. Yes, of course. So as you mentioned, my field is trauma for manifestation coaching. And basically, what I do is that I blend subconscious work with energetic and somatic work as well. We all have goals in our lives, right? Maybe somebody wants more money, somebody wants to manifest a partner, whatever is the goal. um, we always have goals, but on the other hand, along with the goals, we have a lot of limiting beliefs coming from our subconscious conditioning that are like sabotaging us on the way. For example, maybe I want to find the love of my life, but deep down I don't believe that I'm worthy of it, or I believe I need to perform for it, and then I have a lot of blocks on the way. And these traumatic events are also stored in our nervous system and in our body. And when you are about to reach your next goal, maybe your body immediately starts to resist and you have chest pain or not in your throat, or whatever parts of your body it shows up. So, this is what I do with my clients. We are finding these resistance in the body and also mentally, and like exchanging them and dissolving them.
That's absolutely really beautiful because sometimes we have achievements, we have things that we actually want to achieve, but there are a lot of things in our body that is making us to feel like we are not really good enough to actually get that. And to be in the position to transition people, to understand what is going right or wrong, and to actually channel it. This is what you want to actually achieve. This is your goal. But what is actually obstructing you to feel like this thing doesn't worth it for you to actually achieve? Is very much beautiful and profoundly huge. And that is why I would like to drive if you've actually written any book as a manifestation coach, or if you are planning to write any book on the coming future, Mrs. Vivian.
Mhm. Um, to be honest, I haven't thought about writing a book, but if you go to my website, you will find some free guides and tools that you can try out, or anybody who visits my website. I created this because I want to give some easy digestible things that everybody can try and share my knowledge through this. But you never know what can happen, right? So if I have this thought in my mind one day that I want to write a book, I'm sure I'm gonna do this. Because the thing is with manifestation is whatever appears to your mind, it appears because there's a possibility for it. And the question is like whether you go for it or not. But that's the basic idea.
Exactly. I'm so glad that that is in your website. That is the guide. There are many guides that want to actually follow to actually get to that point of manifestation and also knowing how to be fulfillment in some areas in their life. And that is why I would like to just drive to the point of our nervous system. Because for listeners who clearly know what they want, but they
Mhm,
repeatedly avoid delay or sabotage opportunities, how can they
mhm.
recognize when their nervous system may associate growth and change with danger, Mrs. Vivian?
Mhm. Okay, so I think it's easier to approach this from how it looks like when you're sabotaging yourself. So, whatever your goal is in your life, you might be procrastinating action steps, right? You know that you should do this or that in order to get closer to that goal, but a voice in your head tells me, like, oh, maybe tomorrow, oh, we have time, oh, it's not so important. So, something like this. This is like a very basic form of procrastination. Or another form, like maybe we know already what we want, but then we get into spiraling about the how and the when. Like, okay, I want this, but how am I gonna reach this? I have no idea. Where do I start? Or when is it gonna happen? And then we get into this spiral, and then this distracts our attention from the goal itself. So then we know that it's another form of self-sabotaging, or finding excuses yourself why your goal is too big or not reachable. That's another form. So these are all coming from these conditionings and belief systems from your subconscious.
Exactly, because there are always obstruction. When we actually want to get something or we want to actually proceed to achieve something, there are a lot of things that actually make we. Sometimes I will feel like maybe we are lazy to actually push ourselves to actually take such action. Because when we know we're supposed to do this at this point, we feel like, let me try another time. Let me see. Probably I'm not comfortable. All those kind of things could be things. And that is why I would like to drive to the point of childhood experiences, rejection, trauma. How do you think childhood
Mhm.
experiences, past relationships, rejection, or emotional trauma, how do you think it creates conscious belief without or belief about whether someone is worthy of love, success, visibility, or abundance? Mrs. Vivian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a very good question, and it's very important because everything comes from childhood. What we interpreted, the things that were happening with us in our childhood, that determines 95% of our subconscious. So, for example, if you were growing up in an environment where your opinion didn't matter or you were criticized for it, then you learn that you cannot. Open up to people, you cannot represent what you really think, and then you maybe play small or go into people pleasing, and then later in your life it can cause you a lot of headaches, right? Or regarding love, if you were growing up in a family where one of your parents, either your mom or dad, was really rejective towards you, didn't give you the love that you needed emotionally or physically as well, then you learn that love is not something that's for you, and then it will cause you a lot of difficulties later on to believe that you're worthy of finding the partner you already have in your head as you're visualizing. So this is more or less how it works, because when we are children we cannot rationally understand why our parents behave like this, so we interpret it in our own ways, and unfortunately we draw the wrong conclusion, and then it just stucks in our nervous system and in our subconscious.
Exactly, as you said earlier, childhood really plays a very huge way because we do understand that childhood is the main time our brain is developing, and what we assimilate during that childhood time stays with us. And that is why
Yes.
it is very difficult to correct it at the maturity stage because it is now part of what is the way we live, the reaction we make, the kind of decision we make as well. So when our childhood has some errors, I'll call it some errors, it can actually impact some ways when we actually want to have some achievement, probably as a partner or any other thing that can actually help us to actually get that. It actually could be a error or obstruction. So correcting that area is very essential as well. And I would also like to drive to the point of embodied safety. You also speak about embodied safety. What do you think it means in practical terms? And how can someone help their body feel safer while taking unfamiliar steps towards a new life, Mrs. Vivian?
Mhm. Right. So, like it says in the word embodied, it already tells that it has something to do with the body, right? So, because we have experienced a lot of things in our childhood, these experiences, these traumas are stored in our body, and later they turn into like an alert system when we are about to dream big or go towards our goals. And the body is always a messenger, and it can come up in a form of disease or in anxious in your chest, in your throat, in your stomach, in your back, wherever it is. And this is like an alert system from your body saying that this is not safe for us. This is something that we've already seen in another form, which meant danger for us. So then we don't have this safety. And our goal when we're adults is that to create this safety in our body, to teach our body that it doesn't have to react this way anymore because this is no longer serving us. Now we have a choice. Now we are adults. Everything is possible for us. And but you don't create this by just saying these things, right? So you can breathe through this area where you feel this pain and just take some slow deep breath and then just tell yourself that we are safe now. It's okay to react this way. So patience has a very big role in this, to be patient with ourselves, to accept that, okay, this is where I'm coming from now. I don't blame myself for this. I didn't choose this, but also I don't want to play the victim anymore, because now I'm in control and I can do something. And embodied safety is when you already practice this a lot of times and your body no longer reacts the old ways, because it runs on autopilot, everything, right? So you can rewrite your new autopilot and create this safety within, and then you will see that everything starts to shift around you.
That is very much huge, to be honest. It shows that there are some areas, probably during our early stage in life, whereby
Mm-hmm.
when we actually have some kind of situation, it actually comes out either by a disease or a sickness that is always coming out. And we notice that probably this is what is causing it. And for us to
Yeah.
actually create that shift of wholeness, for us to be in a position to say, I am now in control of my body. I can make several decisions the way I think I am comfortable with and actually correct myself if I actually also make mistakes is very much important. It's absolutely something that is not a day or 2 day things. It takes a lot of time to do that because the body has been adapted to something that it has been with for years and it has been doing it like that. Now, for us to change that way, it's going to be really, really difficult in some areas, but I think if we can emerge, it will definitely create more growth and also more abundance for us. And I would also like to drive to the point of manifestation, which is where you actually based in as well. How do you think listeners can approach manifestation in a grounded way that
Mm-hmm.
combines intention and spiritual connection with personal responsibility, realistic action, and respect for circumstances outside their control? Mrs. Vivian.
Mm-hmm. Okay, first of all, I would reflect to the word grounded. What does it mean? Because for me, grounded means a regulated nervous system, which is very, very important when it comes to manifestation. Because when you have a dysregulated nervous system, you cannot create, or you can, but probably you will create some chaos or more unwanted things in your life. So for me, a grounded manifestation is when you are aware of what you can control and when you can surrender to what you cannot. Because surrendering is one of the key things when it comes to manifestation. Because we are living in a world when we like to have control over things, right? We have remote control even for the AC, for the TV. Everything is about comfort, and we feel safety when we are in control. But there are times when we need to learn that no, we cannot and we should not control everything, because there are some higher forces, and things are already happening in the background that we are not even aware of because our limited mind can see. So grounding manifestation is when we are doing our co-creational part. We are doing action steps towards our goal, but also we let go of the how and the when. Because when we get into this, how am I gonna do this? When is it gonna happen? I don't trust. Then we can get into this spiraling and just delay our manifestation. So everybody wants to know the how and when. I myself also want to know, but then I remind myself like, no, I don't care how, I don't care when, but this is going to happen. And I know it's going to happen. It's already happening. It's already mine. And I don't care. I let go of the how and when, something like this. And personally, in my life, I learned to surrender when I had a few years of panic attacks. Because when you have panic attacks, your body immediately reacts and creates fake symptoms and make yourself believe that you're gonna die or you have some big disease or something. And then one day I was like, okay, I don't care if I'm gonna die. It's even better than suffering in this mental loop. And then it just disappeared. And this is a very beautiful experience of surrendering. When you can really let go of control, when you can allow yourself to the divine timing, to the greater plan, then you reach your goal so much more faster than with like forcing, controlling, and trying to see every steps on the way.
As you said earlier, when we control everything, we feel more comfortable. But whether we like it or not, there are some areas in our life we cannot control. And that is why
Yes.
we do not need to force it to actually make sure we want to control it by force. We have to learn the adaptability of surrendering to it. All right, this is it. All right, fine. If that is it, then that's it. For us to be in that position, it actually brings us the point whereby we release a lot of burden in us and actually make us focus on what we can actually control and actually build as well. So I honestly appreciate you for giving that two difference in our life, because I think almost everybody face this thing and almost everybody are actually encouraged when it comes to this point of manifestation. And also for those who could be in the position to listen to our conversation and they feel frustrated that the life they desire still
Mhm.
seems distant. What would you want them to remember about healing, self trust, patience, and becoming emotionally ready for change, Mrs. Vivian?
Mhm. Okay. Yeah. I think the main reason behind feeling frustrated is because we feel we are stuck. But I would remind firstly everybody to the words that we use, because every word that we speak, everything that comes out of our mouths is already a manifestation. So if I keep telling myself I'm stuck, of course I'm creating this energetic environment and also the proof for that. So words have really much power, and you can just say like I'm in transition, I'm not stuck, and that has a so much different energy and impact to our subconscious as well. So that's one thing, like how you speak about yourself, how you speak about your situation, what are the words that you're using. And about remembering, I would really encourage to remember, to ask everybody to remember who they really are, because what you think you are is not actually who you are. It's actually who you've been made, who you've been conditioned. But deep down, you are someone who is happy, who is free from limiting beliefs, who knows that you are a creator. You can create everything in your life. We are all part of the shared consciousness, and you are consciousness. You are source. You are love. You are money. You are everything. So if you are able to tap into this remembering, then you realize that you don't need to chase something or some version of you that is separate from you. It's already in you. I would just need to remember that and just step out of this illusion of separation. Like, because when you have a manifestation goal, you put yourself here, like I am here, and my goal is there, and we have a distance. And then you're already falling into the illusion of separation. But in fact, no, like you are really, we are all creators and we are manifesting 24/7, even good or bad. And if you remember this, then it gives you a sort of confidence and also just empowers you that yes, I'm capable of whatever I imagine in my head.
I honestly appreciate it for the wonderful insight when it comes to encouragement, when it comes to manifestation, and when it comes to humans. As we humans, we have to understand that we be in the position whereby we can build ourselves, we can actually all be in the position to control a lot and also be in the position to release some emotions that can actually be a point of burden as well. And also, Mrs. Vivian, there is a question I normally ask during the end of the show from our forefathers, from our ancestors. There are a lot of beautiful things that do exist during our forefathers' time that is missing in our time today. If there is anyone or anything you would like to bring back to our time today, what do you think that thing will be, Mrs. Vivian?
Mhm. The first thing that comes to my mind is trust. Because if you think about the ancient times, people have been doing all kinds of rituals, chantings, humming, and a lot of things they didn't know rationally why they are doing, but they had the trust and belief that it's working. And this trust is very much necessary, and I think lacking from a lot of us from this world because of the control. Because I cannot trust that I don't know how, when, but it's gonna happen. So I think it would be really nice if we could get back this deep trust, it's inner trust in us, and that I don't know why I'm doing this, but I know it's gonna work. So this was the first thing that came to my mind. I think it's really essential to re tap to this source of trust.
And that is very much true. And also, not even being in the position to give up easily. Because if we actually trust what we are doing, we feel more energetic and also motivated as well. And we don't have the attribute to say, I think it's over. I think I'm not more interested in this any longer. So, trusting what we are doing is very important and actually keeping it more consistent as well plays a very huge role in every perspective and how we can also build ourselves personally as well. And Mrs. Vivian, I want to use this opportunity to thank you for the time and the opportunity for us to have this profound and insightful conversation today. Thank you so much, Mrs. Vivian.
Thank you as well, and looking forward to hearing back from you. Thank you.
All right. Have a wonderful day, Mrs. Vivian. Bye bye.
Bye.